Get this. A source who spoke with a longtime friend of Belichick, we're trying to figure that out, said the friend wonders if the coach will have another opportunity at all. I don't think Bill Belichick will ever be a head coach again in the NFL, the friend said, unless it's for Jerry Jones. Dun, dun, dun. Brew, are you buying Bill Belichick could coach the Cowboys?
Yes, under one condition. You bring back Dak.
That's correct.
Why
would you want to go there?
I would want, if I've got my quarterback, right? Obviously, you're going to have CeeDee Lamb. The defense has already got good players and is good. But we know Belichick will take care of the defense. They'll be top of the league. And with Dak, yeah, I think it could work. Stephen Jones is good with personnel. That's a weakness, we might say, at least lately for Belichick, has been personnel decisions. Stephen Jones takes care of that. He's only going to be there 2-3 years, and it's Super Bowl or bust. So you got to keep Dak. Like, if they get rid of Dak, then I'm not even looking at Belichick because we're kind of rebuilding, I guess. But, yeah, I think it could work. Bill Parcells was there 4 years with Jerry Jones.
They had some success.
Right, and again, it's 2-3 years. So they might run out of, they might be at each other's throat after 3 years, but it could last for that long.
So I don't agree with this quote, by the way, that, Belichick, he's going to have no options, maybe Jerry Jones, and that's it. Because I think that this football season, remember how this past year, every team that had bad quarterback play, sometimes on this show, sometimes other shows, be like, could have had Lamar. And it was kind of true, kind of not true, but it was. Well, it will be true this year. Every team out there whose coach just bungles the new kickoff rules. It's just like, oh, my God, they got us again. Every coach that can't figure out the time score situation, it will be true when people are like, maybe should have at least, invited Belichick in for a meeting, picked his brain. And so I think Belichick's stock is only going to rise.
I agree.
I think that Belichick is going to be...
I'm iffy on that.
See, I think he is...
Because he hasn't been good these last few years.
No, so right, which is why I think his stock's at an all-time low and will only rise.
Can I
think
tell you another thing? Sean Payton's stock, the Saints weren't good. Saints were mediocre after Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Got on TV. Right. You're in people's living rooms.
Exactly right.
And Bill Belichick at the podium, giving gruff answers. We're on to Cincinnati, furrowed brow. And the Bill Belichick we even saw on McAfee yesterday, smiling, cracking jokes. And once he starts to open up on this and this, and here's what you could do, some owner is going to fall in love with it.
And Brew, just to buttress your point, I think that any team that has its offensive talent in place that doesn't love their head coach, Belichick should be their first call. Yep. Because he will, and so the Cowboys, if they were to keep Dak, answer all, check all those boxes. So I agree with you entirely on that. I think it's a more than viable. Belichick, I think, got worse in two ways over the last decade. One, his evaluation of offensive talent and where the league was going offensively clearly deteriorated. And two, Michael Holley, I think, did Michael Holley write the Great Patriots book?
Yep.
Okay. In that book, Belichick talks about how he wants to always have people around him that challenge him, that push back, that tell him when he thinks he's wrong. And it's pretty clear he lost that to a degree. Nora Princiati made this point, and it's a smart one, which is when all the people left, the brain drain catches up to you, and it's your people who learn football from you, that's going to hurt you. I don't think he's not a brilliant football mind. I don't think he's not a brilliant, sorry for the double negatives. I think he's still a brilliant leader. I think so many teams would benefit from having him, and maybe he'll benefit from the year off. But, yeah, I think he could coach the Cowboys.
Brew, do you think the chaos around the Cowboys, less chaos, the show of the Dallas Cowboys versus the quiet and the focus on football in New England, do you think Bill will have to go in and say, hey, it needs to be this way, or Bill's going to be like, you know what, there's a carnival outside, but I'm in here coaching football?
I would love it if he did go do the first, when you said, if he went in and said, look, this is the culture I want. And, are you going to do that to the owner and say, I don't want you speaking every week or after every game?
You want to win a Super Bowl?
That's what Belichick should say. And he shouldn't be so desperate for a job that he's just going to tell you what you want to hear. But yeah, he should say he knows how to win. And so I don't need the coach talking or the owner talking after every game. Let me do that. I love him in Buffalo. I mean, look, you think Kraft and a lot of others think Kraft betrayed him. Yeah. We think maybe he was just being honest with a good friend. Whatever the case, Belichick can't like it. And what better way to get back at Kraft and the Patriots than going to Buffalo? Everything is in order. The defense is already pretty good. We know he'll take care of the defense. Offensively, you got Josh Allen. Come on, and he knows how to beat Mahomes. I mean, in fairness, he's beating him.
He knows how to beat the Jets. He knows how to beat the Patriots.
Right.
By the way, I think I'm not, because of these Kraft comments, and I reread the article, Kraft went out of his way also to call the Washington owner to give him a heads up about Bill. He made 2 phone calls to the Arthur Blank. Like, in case I didn't make it clear on the first one or in the documentary when I called him a pain in the ass. Don't hire this guy.
He's a pain.
I'll get to Robert Kraft later. I can't believe the betrayal. I put back on the board the Jets. I think they're back on the board.
Belichick with the Jets?
He hates
okay, what do they don't have the pieces. Now again, if Buffalo doesn't offer him a job.
Yeah, hold on. But what do you mean they don't have the pieces? The Jets, you think the Jets have all the pieces?
Well, now
I'm saying in a year. The Jets have all the pieces.
We'll see what Rodgers is in a year.
And by the way, you mentioned only going to Dallas if Dak is there. I think Dak could be a free agent in a lot of places next year potentially. But yes, I think he's going to want to humiliate the Patriots. And I think the best place to do it is obviously the AFC East. Miami, I don't think is changing their coach. He's not going back to the Patriots, obviously, to humiliate them. That doesn't make sense. So there's only a couple teams there. And when he says Northeast, everyone's going to attach him to the Giants. I understand that. But also, and they don't have the offensive talent. And Dable is one of his guys.
But it did get mentioned in the article, which I thought was
odd. I thought it was odd as well. But also, I wouldn't recommend that spot for him because he'd be in a similar spot as the Patriots, where, you know what I mean, you're either with a young quarterback or an unproven or a bad quarterback, whatever it is. Yes, I think this is on the board. I still believe that the Bills, Eagles, and Cowboys all made a mistake by not firing their coach and hiring Bill Belichick. Me, as a Chiefs fan, believe it or not, I know I hide that on the show, impartial journalist, would I have been a little bummed out if the Buffalo Bills had hired Bill Belichick this offseason? Yeah. Would I be bummed out if they hired him next offseason? Yeah. That means it's a good idea for them.
That's right.
I've been saying McDermott, as well as he's done, should have been gone.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a ceiling with him.
You were really on that.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.